Hi, this is Sabrina Gibson. I'm a partner of Imagine Wow, and we get to interview the coolest experts, celebrities, and amazing people on the face of the planet. And today, I have Rebecca Radice. She happens to be one of the top social media experts on the face of the planet, and she's been listed by Inman's as the top 100 most influential people in real estate. She's been recommended as one of the top 16 bloggers to follow in the world, and she's got so many awards and so many recognitions that I'm not sure that we'd even have time to go through it. But Rebecca, I'm so excited to have you here.
I am so excited to be here. You always do such amazing intros. I told you I just need to have you come with me wherever I go. You can just clear the room and announce me.
I'll bring the red carpet too. I'll just roll it out for you. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
That works. Whatever.
Trumpets blowing, the whole, I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of back in the day. What was that, like the 1400s when they announced everybody with trumpets? Renaissance period. Uh-huh.
That's so fun. Well, tell me, how did you earn the right to be an expert in social media?
Well, you know, I don't know that I'd call myself so much an expert as much as I would an enthusiastic connoisseur of all things social media. Basically, I've been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember, and in marketing for, yikes, going on 20 years. I am deeply passionate, as you know, about taking all of that delicious goodness that is, you know, well within a business, a company, an entrepreneur, and helping them really pull that out and shine a spotlight on all of that for the world to see.
I love that. And, you know, I love the fact that you are truly a product of what you teach and what you recommend to others. I mean, every time I've ever been on a conversation with you or involved with somebody or around you, it seems like they're constantly just complimenting you, and your content is just phenomenal. What would you say, just I've seen so many things from your content, what would you say the top 3 problems are that you're solving for companies that are looking to go into social media?
You know, I would say how to market, sell, and then brand a business online. Businesses really, to me, are struggling to find a voice in today's online world. And so what I do is really give them the tools and the skills that they need, not to just survive, but to thrive and really embrace all that's available to them through social media.
That's awesome. I mean, I think today that you're right. The companies are having a hard time differentiating themselves in the marketplace, and I know that consistently you help brands stand out. I know you did it with Better Homes and Gardens, and you've done it for countless businesses time and time again. So how are you solving that problem? How are you helping them find their voice?
That's a great question, and probably one of the #1 questions I hear is how do you said the word, how do you create differentiation, and how do you really embrace all that is available online? And I think it's through knowledge, because to me knowledge is power, and it quickly eradicates fear. And I think fear is really the biggest hurdle in most business professional and entrepreneurs' minds. It's that fear of the unknown. You know, what will happen if I take my business online? What are people talking about? What are they saying about me? And how am I going to control that conversation? So to me, offering people deep insight into the how, the what, the why, the when of social media is really like giving them the keys to the kingdom. All of a sudden, anything and everything is possible.
Yeah, I think what I love so much about you is that you literally give a business almost like a cockpit or a dashboard, and it's simply, you know, being able to turn it up or turn it down, or you know, really handle the conversations that are happening around their brand. And you know, so many people are missing, I think, opportunities around conversations that they could naturally leverage. And I know one of the things that I noticed about you is that you're really great about not only building communities really fast around a brand, but you're also great at creating what they call brand enthusiasts. Can you talk a little bit more about brand enthusiasts and how that might help a company?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love the way you just put that, a cockpit. that just allows brands to turn up the volume, turn down the volume, really manage what they've got going on. And part of reputation management is allowing other people to enthusiastically talk about you, your business, your product, your service, and do that online. Sabrina, you talk a lot about third-party edification, and that is exactly what creating brand ambassadors or raving fans is really all about. It's taking those people that have been through your system, have used your product, and have really become excited about sharing everything that is just so wonderful about your business or brand, and spreading that across the internet via social media, their blog, wherever they're chatting and talking. And it's really a missed opportunity, I think, for a lot of businesses. And it could be, again, back to fear, the fear of being able to manage those conversations. But what an amazing opportunity to be able to leverage those people that are already out there. They're already excited about talking about you, and allowing them to spread that message and share the word with other people that are looking for exactly what you've got to offer.
Yeah, that's such a great point. I mean, it's true. I think people are actually begging to say something about your brand, and just to be able to give them the platform to do that. And I think that's what you do so eloquently and just effectively. I mean, I've seen you, what you built your Google Plus following to 180,000 followers in a matter of less than a year. And how did you do that?
Well, not my Google Plus following. Right now, I think I'm at about 22,000 followers on Google Plus, but that would be my following altogether. But you know, it's all through creating conversation, and sharing valuable content, and then putting context around that. So being able to put your finger on the pulse of what your community is looking for, really understanding what their needs are, and then giving that to them day in and day out. And I think that's another misconception where people think, oh, I talked about that yesterday, I can't keep talking about that again. It's going to sound like I'm droning on and on. But the truth of the matter is we almost do have to drone on and on, especially when you're trying to get a message across. You got to make sure that you're staying on top of what their needs are, your community's needs, and then, as I said, just giving that to them day in and day out, and showing up consistently. That's really the key as well to creating not just a community, but a community of those raving fans we were talking about.
I love that. I mean, you know, if you think about it, anything that we learn in life, how we learn it is repetition. I mean, that's why we learn the alphabet song as kids, right? I mean, but it's true. It's like, you know, people think, I think, when they go online that it's about selling and pushing their product, and, you know, it feels like spam when that happens. And if you just reverse a situation, that's exactly what it feels. And what you do so well is educate, 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 and give, 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 give. Over and over and over again. And yes, I mean, sometimes it is, you know, feeling like you're repeating, but the reality of it is there's so much information being pushed at people. Repetition is definitely the key. How are you, and I'm sorry, this is a little off, we usually talk about what questions we are, but you're so fun, and I know people have
and we know each other inside and out, so you know, nothing's off limits.
How are you coming up with your content? I mean, how do you come up with the ideas that you share online with people?
Well, you know, there's lots of different ways, depending on whether it's a content creation or curation point of view. It's really all following those people that I enjoy keeping up with online. So it's through, you know, maybe my Feedly account, so RSS feeds, and knowing what content is relevant to them, which means more than likely if their community is similar to mine, it would be interesting to my community as well. It's you know, paying attention to what's hot on Google Plus, or paying attention to what's being shared in some of the groups on LinkedIn or on Facebook. So just, spending time in those places where your potential clients or consumers are spending their time, seeing the conversation that's happening around that, the social shares that are happening, and then just, again, back to what I said, really understanding what the needs of my community are, and hopefully they're very similar to mine. What I like, they're going to like.
I love that. You're just so brilliant at this, and you've given us so many tips. What's one tip that maybe you can share with a company that is either looking to accelerate their efforts online, or maybe even just begin a new campaign online with their social media?
Yeah, the biggest piece of advice I can always give is just do it. Just get out there, and whether it's just getting started or rolling out a new campaign, just get out there and stop waiting until tomorrow to pull the trigger, because the truth of the matter is, and Sabrina, you and I talk about this all the time, potential clients, they're online. They are out there. They are actively searching for whatever it is that a business, a professional, no matter the industry, they're out there looking for what you have to offer. And if you're not leveraging all of the tools available to you to get your product or service in the palm of their hands and make it easy for them to connect with you, well, your competition is. So every day you wait is another day they zoom ahead.
No, that's such a great point. Yeah. The other thing, I know you talked a lot about people having fear, like the fear of the unknown or fear of looking bad. What would you say would be, one way that maybe they could overcome that would make them feel safe?
I love that question, because feeling safe is really what it's all about online, and I think there's a couple of different ways to tackle that. First of all is knowing your limitations, understanding what you're comfortable in talking about, understanding what platforms you're going to be comfortable on, because really, at the end of the day, it's not about being everything to everybody. It's about being all that you can be to that one person that truly matters, that truly is going to make a difference within your business. So it's identifying what your limitations are, what are you able to give, what are you willing to give, and what are you willing to share. That's where I see people get into a lot of trouble, where all of a sudden they're in the midst of a conversation that they don't know how to back out of. All of a sudden they've got a brand reputation issue. So understand what your limitations are, and then also understand what your motivation is. What's your reason for being online? What is your reason for being on Facebook or on Twitter or on Google Plus? Because like I just said, you don't have to be everything to everybody, and likewise, you don't have to be everywhere. You do not have to be on every single platform. What you need to do is master that one that really gives you the biggest bang for your buck, and then move on.
I love that. It's interesting. We get online and we realize all of a sudden that we're having a conversation with many, but I like the idea of just pretending that the conversation is for one very specific person, because that's really how you make people feel heard. I mean, that's a brilliant tip. I love that. So you know that I ask this question to everyone, and that is, how do you define social media?
Well, I think you and I at this point have a pretty similar concept of social media, and to me social is exactly that. It's all about creating conversations. It's about being exactly where those conversations that matter most to you and your business are happening, and then the media part is the content that we're sharing, exactly what we just finished talking about. Whether it's your latest blog post, whether it's an industry news piece that's really important to your community, maybe it's a video, just like we've got here today. Whatever that might be, that is the content, and really, in my opinion, that's the foundation of all that we're doing online. So social media is simply creating vibrant conversation through shared content.
I love that, and you're the queen of that. I mean, you have consistently told me create really good content every single day. I mean, that's really what you were sharing, and it's true. I mean, if you're definitely a product of what you teach, and I think that's why so many people admire what you're doing, and why you've been able to move brands so quickly online and help them really dominate their marketplace. I mean, you're just totally brilliant. Well, I mean, I know this is kind of a funny question to ask somebody in social media, but how are you using social media in business? And maybe the better way to ask this is, what types of results are you experiencing as a result of the social media that you're producing?
Well, so I'll start with how I'm using social media. Basically, I look at social media as a digital gateway. So it is an opportunity to tap into maybe industry or people or sectors that just really were previously untapped or unreachable by traditional marketing methods, which is, you know, the world I lived in, where I came from. And so to me, it's really envisioning a virtual bridge that connects consumers to nearly any product, any service, anything they're looking for online. And social media gives me, within my business, the opportunity then to really fulfill those wants and needs in real time. And so it's really this amazing opportunity for both myself but businesses as a whole to get in front of a community that they otherwise would never have been able to. And that's where I've seen just unbelievable results within my own business. It has created conversations. It has created interview opportunities. It has created relationships, Sabrina, like yours and mine. I mean, my goodness, we owe all of that to social media. And so when you think about it, the opportunities, the possibilities are really, the sky is the limit. You can go as far as you want. Your reach is as big as you want it to be. Really all it's limited to is your creativity. So it's just, every day is another exciting opportunity to see who can you get in front of, who can you create a relationship with, what opportunity are you making within your business that you might not have had the chance to do otherwise.
Yeah, I love that, Rebecca. It's so true. It's you know, you and I talk about this all the time, and that is, it's what do you want to get out of social media, because it's sitting there, and a lot of companies are looking for that extra exposure. They're looking to reach a market that maybe didn't know that they existed before. And I think you're so right. It's like, whatever you want to get out of social media, if that's your intention, then you can get it out, as long as you have the plan that goes with it. And you're excellent at doing that. I mean, I think what you're really good at is also just harnessing the power of a community. I mean, being able to tap into all kinds of them. You know, you have some of the most influential people online as dear friends in regular conversation as a result of social media. And I think brands don't realize just how powerful it can be when they lay, like you called it, the digital bridge, which I loved. Or virtual bridge. You know, it's like when you can create that bridge, it just it opens up all kinds of opportunities. And I think the biggest, you know, mistake, and you know, I talk about this all the time, but the biggest mistakes companies make is that they're just not taking advantage, or they don't know how to take advantage of that. And I think that's what you do so well, is just laying it out in a step-by-step format.
Thank you. Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with you. You know, it's all about, as you say, having a conversation. It all starts with a conversation, and if we're afraid to have those conversations, we're going to miss out on opportunity every single day.
Brilliant. So what would be the #1 recommendation you would make for brands that are looking to either begin, accelerate, you know, reinvent themselves online using social media?
Yeah, you know, I think you just said it. Get a strategy in place. Too often I see businesses or brands, and you'd be amazed at the brand level how many dive in with that hit or miss strategy. You know, let's just throw it at the wall and hope it sticks, which of course is not a strategy. It's a hope and a wish. You know, you're wishing every single day that results would just magically appear. And you've got to put a plan in place, have a strategy that is not only executable but sustainable. So you've got to know who are your team players, understand what those moving pieces are, and how social media is really going to support all of your other efforts. So take a deep look at what are you doing offline, what are you doing online now, and how is social media going to elevate what you're doing, and then also how is it going to expand what you're doing and really grow your reach. So look at social media from that very strategic point of view of not just what's going to happen, with my post tomorrow, how many plus ones or likes or shares am I going to get, but what does that translate into? We all talk about the ROI of social media, and the only way you're ever going to be able to monitor or really analyze the ROI of your efforts is to know exactly where you're going and how you're getting there.
Excellent. Well, this is your question, and I have to ask you your question because because that's just the way we do it. But how are you putting the wow in your business, or how are you differentiating yourself from everyone else out there?
Differentiation for me, it's all about practicing what I preach. So being a student every single day of not just the industry, but what is working, what is not, and testing within my own business exactly that, so that I can go back to my clients and say, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is working and this isn't, and this is how we're going to tweak it, and here are the results that, either I've seen within my business or other clients have seen within their business, but it's proven results. And I'm seeing too many people coming into social media, whether it's from a management or a consultative point of view, without that background, without that skill, without that training, without that knowledge or that insight to truly say, hey, I've been there, I've done that, I know it works, and then having that track record of proven results. So I think it's bringing all of that together, but really it's having a very deep understanding of social media and a love affair with everything online.
Yeah, and I know you and I talk about this all the time, but it's interesting because for me, what I love what you do is that we talk about this all the time, is that as kids, you and I both were good at connecting dots. Like I did dot to dot, and I always say that my dot to dots look like black and white straight lines, where yours were three-dimensional color, and that's really what you do for people online, because a lot of times brands think, oh, I need a Facebook page, or I need a Google Plus account, or I need all these pieces, but they're not really connecting them together, and I think that's what you're so good at, and that's why you're getting the proven results time and time again, and that's why you're getting return on an investment. I mean, that's really, at the end of the day, it's like the hope prayer, the prayer program where you just pray that everything works, or I call it the show up and throw up method.
I like it.
Yeah, where they just said, well, let's try this. But you really come with a strategy behind it. You come with a step-by-step format, and you know how to put all the pieces together. And I think that's really what moves a brand and helps them dominate their market and outperforms any of the advanced strategies. And that's what you're so brilliant at. And that's why you're one of the few people I call mentors. I mean, I use that term very lightly. There's 2 or 3 people that I actually call mentor as it relates to social media, and you're definitely one of those people. I mean, I'm so honored to work with you. Now, I know people would love to get in contact with you, Rebecca. What's the best way to start a conversation with you?
Well, you can find me on my website, RebeccaRadice.com. You can see that right there, right below me. Or across any social network. So on Twitter, @RebeccaRadice, Google+, Rebecca Radice. Wherever you're spending your time, whether it's Pinterest, Facebook, you're going to find me there.
I love it. I love it. And I really hope people take advantage of that, because you truly are a master of social media. And I know it's kind of hard to call someone a master or expert with something constantly changing, but you're always a little bit ahead of the game, and I love that. So I want to thank you so much. I mean, I really, from the bottom of my heart, and you know this, I text you almost every day telling you how incredibly blessed and grateful I am that I get to learn and play in this playground with you. And I just really appreciate your time here today.
Oh, well, I feel the same exact way. Every day I count my blessings that I have the opportunity to work and play with you, like you said, and you humble me with all of your words. So thank you, and thanks again for having
Aw.
me here.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Exactly. Mwah.
Awesome. Well, I hope to have you back, and thank you again. Thanks for always giving so much to everybody who watches.
Thank you.
So this is Sabrina Gibson with Imagine Wow, and as you can tell, we bring on some of the coolest people and some of my favorite experts in the entire universe. And I hope you come back. I hope you come back and tune into and learn from the celebrities and the experts and the amazing people who've accomplished a lot online. I hope you come back again and tune into more interviews.